Welcome to Wesley Impact. I'm Keith Garner. How important is it to provide people with an opportunity to contribute to their community? I'm glad you've taken the time to be with us today. As you can see behind me, you can see, and I believe hear, the fact that we're not in the studio today, but on location at one of our Wesley Mission Centres. I'd like to do this from time to time to share our work in the community with you. First hand you'll see it, and you'll hear it, and you'll know where you are. Behind me is the factory floor of our David Morgan Centre. This is a commercial packaging operation in Western Sydney, which employs people who are living with a disability. Our clients here include household names in pharmaceuticals, health and hygiene, food, gardening and lawn care, and the list goes on and on. I'm sure you'll be able to recognise some of them from here and there. But the truth is, I want to tell you more about this work. I'll be joined by the manager of David Morgan Centre, Rick Lydiard, later in this show. And in the weeks to come, we will meet some of the employees and their families and see some of the team building activities that unites our staff and keeps us going. But first today, Rick Lydiard. Rick has been a member of the Wesley Mission team for almost 20 years, well, about 20 years. We'll find exactly that out in a few moments. He's been working across a number of areas of Wesley Mission. We'll be joined from the studio by Jordan Warner and the Wesley Impact Band, who will sing Build My Life. And I'll share some thoughts on the temptations of Jesus, which help us to begin the season of Lent. It offers challenging thoughts for all our lives, which provide the basis upon which we can, as the song will tell us, build our lives.
So David Morgan Centre opened in 1973. The land that it's built on was donated by a member of the board at the time, David Morgan, and he purpose-built the facility specifically to provide opportunities for employment for people with intellectual disabilities. I like to look at our workplace as being a commercial enterprise, and we just happen to employ people with intellectual disabilities. At our peak, we've had around 110 supported employees, which are between our packaging facility and our property maintenance crews. The guys that work here need a little bit of extra support to be able to work to their capacity. It's all about us being able to provide an environment where they're supported. It's about 75% of our sales revenue these days is brought in through pharmaceutical and veterinary product processing. So we don't handle any of the raw product, but we do what's referred to as secondary packaging, which means we will put it in shelf-ready displays or shelf-ready cartons.
So we fold this end up, we glue this end, and when this end's glued and prepared, the product's placed in the other end, and it's also glued and closed up, ready for sale in the shop.
We're doing a job for one of our customers where we're packing canisters of a human health product into a carton and then shrink wrapping the cartons together in bundles of 5, putting them into shippers. We do about 3,500 of those each run.
Yeah, the Brockers like to pack the tubes inside in 5 and close it and seal it. After they seal the bottom, they put it in the trays and I can pack it in the big box. Yeah.
We're doing some Defender slug and snail pellets that we just shrink wrap to make sure that there's a good seal around it, pack it back into the shippers and then repalletise it.
You have to put it there and you put it there and you shrink and seal it and go through there.
Also assembling some safety visors that we put together, bag, put a header card on, into shippers and then off to the customer as well.
We had to redo them, like put them together and put them in the bag and staple them. And make sure the bottom and the top are in the cardboard. You can't miss it. There you go.
The Hershey caramel sauce, that's all imported from overseas, so we need to apply Australian compliant nutrition labels to the back of those containers and also a small label to the front as well.
I'm doing Hershey's, solo doing this job, make some friends.
Team here are great. We have our issues like any workplace from time to time, but the guys really dig in, they get on well.
One of my favourite jobs is shrink wrap and serve labels, and also we're just making some good friends, and we just have lots of fun and keep it busy working.
They've developed over time a lot of relationships outside of work. So there's a group of them that of a Friday afternoon when they finish work will go up to the local Macca's and will have a coffee and some lunch, before they go home. There's a group of them that like bowling, so they'll go bowling together. The camaraderie and the friendships that they've developed while they've been here at Wesley Mission are really long lasting.
Thank you everyone at Wesley Mission.
If you would like to learn more about Wesley Mission, visit wesleymission.org.au. You can find help in our community services, connect with our church and congregations, discover a volunteer role that suits you, stay up to date on the latest news and information, donate to support our work, and help make a positive difference in your community. You can also connect with us on social media and subscribe to receive the latest news and information about Wesley Mission directly into your inbox. Visit wesleymission.org.au.
Don't hesitate to be in touch if you'd like to find out more about the work at Wesley Mission, or if we can be of help to you in any way that we can. The contact details are on the screen now. Today I'm at Wesley Mission's David Morgan Centre, keen to provide a first-hand look at some of the work that we carry out here. This is a commercial operation providing employment for people who are living with a disability and servicing a wide range of clients from across Australia. Tell us a bit more. Thanks for having us firstly, Rick, here in the studio.
Welcome to David Morgan.
Yeah, I hope we haven't interrupted life here during these weeks. I hope it seems that some of the guys have enjoyed it as well.
Oh, they enjoy visitors on site,
Yeah.
and especially when you visit, but
Yeah.
we're very flexible, so we'll
Yeah.
work around.
How many people are actually employed here? If you mind me asking some of the...
Here at the packaging facility, we've got 75 supported employees and
Yeah.
about 10 able-bodied staff that act
Yeah.
in supervisory and support roles.
Yeah.
But we've also got some supported employees working in our cleaning and gardening crews as
Yeah.
well. We've got another 10 there.
Yeah.
And then 5 supported employees that work in other areas within Wesley Mission.
Now, governments don't always get it right, but I think the fact that we keep the title employees is very important, isn't it? We use the
think
word supported. It simply means they perhaps need some assistance in getting on that road.
That's right. You hit the nail on the head with your intro in that we see that we're just a commercial enterprise and
Yeah.
we just happen to employ people with disabilities.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
do get an added level of support, but these guys are very capable employees and very good employees to have as well.
Yeah, and it feels like a happy factory. I mean, I've been in some very different factories than this, different kinds,
No, the atmosphere here is great. The guys have a great sense of humour. They get on really well together.
Yeah.
And just by virtue of the fact that some of them have worked together for close to 40 years.
I know, it's incredible.
It's wonderful.
Incredible when I think about it. What type of packaging do we provide for clients?
Look, we try to do whatever a customer needs us to do, but our general packaging, we do mail outs for customers. That may include just pieces of paper, just letters, or it may include bulkier items as well. We do a lot of labelling, over-labelling of products. We do a lot of packing, obviously, a lot of point-of-sale displays for customers.
So just to get a company would deliver them here, and you guys would do the work and they collect it at the end of the day?
That's right. So there's a few intricate details, but basically they'll drop the stuff off. We'll put everything together, so to speak, and then it'll get shipped out.
And is the work consistent?
Look, over the last 2 years, we've been very consistent. So we've been lucky enough to have a very good level of work. The guys are always busy.
Yeah, that's important. What difference does employment make to the staff here,
Look, there's a number of things. Firstly, it's a meaningful and a worthwhile activity for them. So they come here to work and they know that they're achieving something. They take pride in walking into a place like Costco and seeing the work that they do on the shelves, what they put together. But it's also a social aspect as well. So there's always a danger of isolation for people with disabilities. But by coming to a centre like this, to a workplace like this, they get to develop long-lasting relationships. A lot of them take part in social groups outside of work, get together for coffee or tea after work.
And we have a chaplain that does a devotion here once a week as well.
Yeah, so the guys run their own meetings once a week and they take control of that, and it's just like any other workplace meeting. They look after workplace health and safety in those meetings, customer feedback, all that sort of stuff. And then our chaplain, David Van Acker, will run a chapel service immediately after that.
That's fantastic, really. You've been with Wesley Mission for almost
Almost 20 years.
When's the 20 come?
20 comes up February 2020.
Yeah, sure. So I look forward to seeing that. What are some of the other areas that you've worked in prior to this?
The bulk of my work with Wesley Mission's been involved with employment services.
Yeah.
So down in the Illawarra and up
Yeah.
this way as well.
Yeah.
But basically administering federal government contracts
Yes.
and trying to help people get into
Yeah.
employment.
Yeah.
But I've also dabbled in other parts of the mission along the lines of suicide prevention services,
Yeah.
training,
Yeah.
and a little bit in aged care.
Tell
as
me,
well.
Rick, what you get out of this job. I mean, I really want to ask people that now.
Look, I tell anyone that comes here that I've got the best job in Wesley Mission. And out of all the places that I've worked, I love this place. But it's the employees.
Yeah.
It's really coming and seeing that they do
Yeah.
something worthwhile,
Yeah.
seeing that they enjoy the work
Yeah.
and that they take pride in what they do. And it's very rare to come to a workplace and see almost everyone experience that and exhibit those sorts of personalities and traits.
And sometimes you have contact with the families as well of people.
Yeah, well, one of our long-serving employees who passed away a few years ago, his mother still comes to our chapel services every fortnight.
Yeah.
So she gets a lot out of coming
Yeah,
and
yeah.
being part of a place that was part of his life for 30 years.
Yeah. So I try when I describe this place to say two things. One, first of all, it's real jobs, real factory. But secondly, it's a Christian agency trying to make a difference
That's
in
right.
people's lives.
Yeah.
And what difference do you see?
Oh, look, I just see the compassion that each of these employees have for each other.
Yeah.
It's really great. And you see new employees that come that may be a bit reserved to start with, but they develop those friendships and they really lean on each other and they help each other and support each other through tough times.
What is it about moving people around? I mean, that's obvious to us. They don't all do the same jobs all the time.
Yeah, look, part of our responsibility is trying to give them variation in their work. So we don't want someone to sit at a table labelling for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. It's not good for them and it's not good for us. We like to develop their skills.
Yeah.
So we try to rotate them on as many jobs as possible.
Yeah.
And we go through a process each year, which is a vocational development process where we try and get them to set their goals.
Yeah,
and someone may want to learn to use a new piece of machinery, so we do that. We try and achieve those goals with them and support them to achieve those goals. And variation and variety in work is just part of that.
Rick, Lydia, great to have you here. Thank you for opening the doors of David Morgan Centre. Don't tell the guys we're coming back every week. We won't be here every week.
They'll expect a barbecue next time.
Let's join now Jordan Warren and the Wesley Impact Band back in the studio singing Build My Life.
Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh, we live for you. And holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me.
Experience the Galilee and the towns and cities where Jesus was raised and called his home. Capernaum, Nazareth, Tabgha, Magdala, Caesarea Philippi, Bethsaida, Tiberias, and of course the Sea of Galilee all feature in this 6-part series as Keith Garner explains the first century context of biblical events.
Jesus was born during a time of change in the political and economic leadership of this region. Fishermen around a lakeside was really one of the big businesses. Why Jesus? Why didn't people ignore him? Why did they take him seriously? And what are the questions we should be asking today if we're going to take Jesus seriously?
The Man of Galilee is available now and comes with a study guide for leaders, small groups and individuals. For more, visit wesleymission.org.au.
I'm reading today from Matthew's Gospel, chapter 4, verses 1 to 11. Jesus tested in the wilderness. Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. After fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. The tempter came to him and said, "If you are the Son of God, tell these stones to become bread." Jesus answered, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God." Then the devil took him to the holy city and had him stand on the highest point of the temple. "If you are the Son of God," he said, "throw yourself down, for it's written, he will command his angels concerning you, and they will lift you up in their hands, so that you will not strike your foot against a stone." Jesus answered him, "It's also written, do not put the Lord your God to the test." Again the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their splendor. "All this I'll give you," he said, "if you will bow down and worship me." Jesus said to him, "Away from me, Satan, for it's written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only." Then the devil left him, and angels came and attended him. In this season of Lent, we turn to Matthew's Gospel. It's a marvelous Gospel, and you've got this amazing account of the temptations of Jesus. You see, you can't read the account of Jesus' 40-day fast without thinking of the fact that the community of Israel passed through the Red Sea for 40 years. On both occasions, it was a time of testing. You can also look at the Old Testament if you've got the time and discover the fact that both Moses and Elijah had 40-day fast periods. So there's a biblical imperative that's there. The timeless human predicament is that we are greedy for all the things that life can give us. Immediately after his baptism, Jesus is led by the Spirit into the wilderness for his testing. He's not led there by the devil, he's led there by the Spirit of God. Jesus Christ is the trusting Son of God who will not overreach his humanity and ask for exceptions to life as we live it. It doesn't say, I know people have these things, but not me, I'm going to be lifted above all that. He could be, but he chooses not to be. Jesus is taken to a place where he's tested to command stones to be bread, but he refuses. Jesus is then taken to the tallest part of the temple. He's tempted to throw himself off, where God will, through his angels, catch him, according to the devil's promise. But no, he does not do that. Jesus is then taken to another high place, to a high mountain, and offered all the kingdoms of the world. Now, it's worth noting that in both Matthew's Sermon on the Mount and at the final 28th chapter, what we know as the Great Commission, which are places of blessing, Jesus is on a mountainside, on a hillside, on a top of a mountain. And that gives it a kind of seductive power, because mountains are so important. You remember the law was given on the mountains. So many times the Sermon on the Mount on the mountains. That power is seductive, but Jesus will not give in to it. There's something very real about the fact that he will not give in to it. He will only follow the authority of God. In all our deserts, and we have our deserts, they're very different. We must be prepared to trust God completely and not give way to temptation. This is one of the most practical matters that we have to deal with in our lives. I suspect when I'm talking in this way, that temptation means to you something very different. But for all of us, we have to resist that temptation, take hold of the promises of God, and in doing so, have what we might call victory over that which would pull us back. We're thankful to the fact that Our God is one who can sustain us, who can save us from giving in to those things that would tear us apart and bring us low. And those truths, I think, are very, very important when I read this particular chapter in Matthew's Gospel. Have you noticed every time there is that wonderful trusting in the Word of God from the Old Testament, that trusting of us there, that men and women are not going to live by bread alone, that truth that though it tells us that our feet will not be struck, that scripture is turned around because Jesus will have none of it. He realizes there's a much more important truth about trusting him. Are you tempted today? Do you find yourself in a place where you are torn apart and you're needing help? You're needing help with the difficult things. Trust in God. If Jesus Christ, the Son of God, had to trust in God, how much more do we have to learn that lesson in our lives? We are not the Son of God, but we're children of God in the sense that we belong to humanity. But we need to gain that power that was his and gifted to us, to be able to claim it for ourselves and know that we can resist whatever temptations come to us, wherever they come. There is no temptation given to us that we cannot believe that Jesus Christ can save us from. He was tested as we are, but he never gave in. And you know, one of the versions tells us that when he was tempted, it tells us that the devil went away for a season and he would come back from time to time. So it is. You have the victory. You have the confidence of trusting God, whatever your temptation is, in your family, at work, with your friends. But be sure of this, when you resist it, don't believe that's the end of the matter. There will be times when you have to know what it is to trust God completely and for all times.
If you would like to contact Keith and find out more about today's program, write to us at Wesley Mission, Post Office Box A 5555, Sydney South 1235, or you can send us an email to impacttv@wesleymission.org.au. On our website, you can catch up on past episodes of Wesley Impact, find out more about our work, read online magazines and articles, and connect with us on social media. You can also connect through Keith's blog and stay up to date on all the latest news and information from Wesley Mission, wesleymission.org.au.
Write to me if you've got any questions about the Christian faith, or anything you've heard on this programme, or any questions that might have arisen when you've been looking at the work here at David Morgan Centre. I always enjoy listening to people and more hearing from them and responding to emails and letters. Let's take a look now at some of the events coming up at Wesley Mission.
Did you know an estimated 900,000 Zimbabweans live with a disability? Sadly, Zimbabweans with a disability are often marginalised due to social stigmas, and mothers of children with disability are repeatedly abandoned by society and are left to fend for their child on their own. Wesley Mission is participating in World Day of Prayer 2020, a global ecumenical movement of prayer and action led by Christian women. Join us on World Day of Prayer to pray for women and children suffering in Zimbabwe. We're holding a special prayer service at the Wesley Church on Friday the 6th of March at 12 p.m. and collectively joining with churches in over 170 countries in united prayer. Come and be part of our multicultural celebration dinner with the Wesley Mission family. Bring your friends and family and together enjoy a delicious spread of foods and performances. The event will be held in the Smith Room at the Wesley Centre on Friday the 27th of March at 6 p.m.
Well, it's come to the end of the day here. You can see the guys here are all ready to go home. Well, we've just got a few more things to say. And one thing I want to say is that on our website, which is on the screen now, you'll gain much, much more information about Wesley Mission and the things that are upcoming. Please don't hesitate to be in touch if we can help you, or with a loved one or yourself. I hope you enjoyed seeing our work at David Morgan Centre today. We'll spend more time here over the coming weeks, but I'll see you at the same time next week. God bless you. Come and join us on Wesley Impact. God bless you.
Wesley Mission walks alongside people of all ages struggling with homelessness, addictions, mental health issues and financial stress. To find out more, visit wesleymission.org.au.